Being broke is a mindset. I don't care how much money is in your bank account right now. If you have a broke mindset, you will always be broke. You could win the lottery tomorrow and still be broke within 5 years because being broke isn't about your circumstances. It's about how you think, how you make decisions, and how you see opportunities. I'm not here to sugarcoat this or tell you some feel good story about positive thinking. I'm here because I've been on both sides of this equation and I know the difference between being temporarily low on money and having a broke mindset. One is a situation that can change overnight, the other is a prison you build in your own mind. 2 years ago, I had a friend who constantly complained about being broke. She would say things like, I can't afford that, about a $10 coffee, but then spend $50 on takeout every day. She would talk about how rich people are lucky or corrupt while she sat on her couch scrolling social media instead of learning a new skill. She had all the excuses in the world for why she couldn't make more money, but zero solutions. That's when I realized something that changed my entire relationship with money. Being broke isn't about the number in your account, it's about the thoughts in your head. It's about the stories you tell yourself, the excuses you make, and the opportunities you refuse to see because they don't fit your narrative of being a victim. Here's what a broke mindset actually looks like, and I want you to be honest with yourself as I go through this. A broke mindset says, I can't afford it instead of how can I afford it? A broke mindset sees rich people as lucky instead of strategic. A broke mindset spends money on things that make you feel better temporarily instead of things that make you better permanently. A broke mindset believes that making money is hard, that you need money to make money, that successful people had advantages you don't have. A broke mindset focuses on what you're spending instead of what you're earning. A broke mindset thinks small and stays comfortable because growth feels too risky. But here's what really separates broke thinking from wealthy thinking. Broke people focus on saving money. Wealthy people focus on making money. Broke people buy things because they're cheap. Wealthy people buy things because they add value. Broke people think about money in terms of what they can't do. Wealthy people think about money in terms of what they can create. Let me tell you something that might make you uncomfortable. Your financial situation right now is a direct reflection of your mindset about money. Not your circumstances, not your background, not your bad luck, your mindset. The thoughts you think about money every day are creating your financial reality. If you think making money is hard, it will be hard for you. If you think rich people are greedy, you'll sabotage yourself every time you start making more money. If you think you don't deserve wealth, you'll find ways to lose it even when you get it. Your subconscious mind will always find a way to prove your beliefs right. I know this is hard to hear because it means taking responsibility instead of blaming your circumstances. It's easier to believe that you're broke because of the economy, your job, your family, or your bad luck. But the truth is, there are people making money in every economy, in every industry, from every background. The difference isn't their circumstances, it's their mindset. Here's what shifted everything for me. I stopped asking, why don't I have more money? And started asking, what can I do to create more value? I stopped focusing on what I couldn't afford and started focusing on what I could build. I stopped seeing money as something that happens to me and started seeing it as something I create. The moment you shift from a consumer mindset to a creator mindset, everything changes. Instead of looking at successful people and thinking they're so lucky, you start thinking, what are they doing that I'm not doing? Instead of making excuses for why you can't succeed, you start looking for ways to make it happen. But here's where most people get stuck. They want to change their financial situation without changing their thinking. They want different results from the same mindset. They want to make more money while keeping all their limiting beliefs about money intact. That's not how this works. Your relationship with money is formed by everything you learned about money growing up. If your parents fought about money, you learned that money causes problems. If your family always struggled financially, you learned that money is scarce. If you were told that rich people are greedy, you learned that having money makes you a bad person. These beliefs are running in the background of your mind every day, influencing every financial decision you make. Until you identify these beliefs and consciously choose to change them, you'll keep recreating the same financial patterns over and over again. Here's how you start reprogramming your money mindset, and I want you to actually do this, not just think about doing it. First, pay attention to every thought you have about money for 1 week. Write them down. Notice how often you think, I can't afford that, or money doesn't grow on trees, or rich people are lucky. Second, for every limiting belief you catch yourself thinking, immediately replace it with a more empowering thought. Instead of, I can't afford that, think, how can I create the money for that? Instead of, rich people are lucky, think, rich people made different choices than I did. Third, start consuming different content about money. Stop following people who complain about the economy and start following people who are actively building wealth. Stop reading articles about why the system is rigged and start reading books about how money actually works. Fourth, change how you talk about money. Stop saying you're broke. Stop complaining about prices. Stop making jokes about being poor. Your words create your reality, and every time you speak poverty into your life, you're programming your subconscious mind to keep you there. But here's what really accelerated my financial growth. I started thinking about money as a tool instead of a goal. Money isn't the end result, it's what you use to create the life you want. When you focus on creating value, solving problems, and helping people, money becomes a natural byproduct instead of something you're chasing. Most people with a broke mindset are focused on getting money instead of earning money. They want to find a way to get rich quick instead of building something valuable over time. They're looking for shortcuts instead of developing skills. They want the results without the work. Wealthy people understand that money is attracted to value. The more value you create, the more money you can make. The more problems you solve, the more people will pay you. The more you help others get what they want, the more you'll get what you want. This is why lottery winners often go broke. They get the money without developing the mindset that creates and maintains wealth. They haven't learned how to think like wealthy people, so they make decisions like broke people, even with millions of dollars in their account. Your current financial situation is just data about your past decisions and mindset. It's not a prediction of your future unless you keep the same thinking that created it. Every day, you have the opportunity to make different choices based on a different mindset. Here's what I want you to understand about creating wealth. It's not about working harder at the same things you're already doing. It's about working smarter on things that actually create value. It's about developing skills that people will pay you for. It's about solving problems that matter to people. The broke mindset says, I need a job to make money. The wealthy mindset says, I need to create value to make money. The broke mindset looks for security. The wealthy mindset looks for opportunity. The broke mindset asks, what's the least I can do? The wealthy mindset asks, what's the most value I can create? Most people are so focused on their current financial situation that they can't see the opportunities right in front of them. They're so busy complaining about not having money that they're not paying attention to ways they could be making money. They're so committed to their story of struggle that they reject anything that doesn't fit that narrative. But here's what changed my entire financial trajectory. I started acting like a wealthy person before I had wealthy person money. I started making decisions based on who I wanted to become, not who I was in that moment. I started investing in myself, my skills, and my growth even when I didn't have much money to invest. This doesn't mean spending money you don't have or living beyond your means. It means shifting your priorities from short-term comfort to long-term growth. It means choosing to learn instead of being entertained. It means investing in things that will make you more valuable instead of things that just make you feel better. Every wealthy person I know has one thing in common. They see money as infinite, not scarce. They believe there's always more money to be made, more value to be created, more problems to solve. Broke people see money as finite. They think if someone else has money, there's less for them. They compete instead of create. This scarcity mindset keeps you focused on what you don't have instead of what you could build. It makes you jealous of other people's success instead of inspired by it. It makes you defensive about your current situation instead of excited about your potential. Here's the truth that will change your financial life if you let it sink in. Being wealthy isn't about having money, it's about thinking like someone who creates money. It's about seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. It's about taking responsibility for your results instead of blaming your circumstances. You don't need permission to change your financial situation. You don't need perfect circumstances, more time, or a different background. You need a different mindset. You need to stop thinking like someone who money happens to and start thinking like someone who makes money happen. The best investment you can make isn't in stocks, real estate, or cryptocurrency. It's in developing the mindset that creates wealth. It's in learning how money actually works. It's in building skills that people value. It's in creating something that matters to other people. Your broke mindset isn't protecting you, it's limiting you. Every time you say, I can't afford it, you're choosing to stay where you are instead of figuring out how to grow. Every time you focus on what you don't have, you're missing opportunities to create what you want. Starting right now, I want you to catch yourself every time you think or speak from a broke mindset. Replace that thought with something more empowering. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, focus on what you can learn. Instead of complaining about your situation, start planning your next move. Being broke might be your current situation, but it doesn't have to be your permanent identity. Your mindset is the only thing standing between you and the financial life you want. Change your thinking, and you'll change your bank account. It's that simple and it's that powerful. The question isn't whether you can develop a wealthy mindset. The question is whether you will. Your financial future depends on your answer, and that answer starts with the very next thought you think about money.